31 in 31, I watched a Korean film called Metamorphosis. Okay, it was it's a Korean film by a director named Hong Seon Kim. Um, it was good. It was most definitely a very different film. Something I wasn't expecting, but not in a bad way. I honestly gotta say I thoroughly enjoyed it. So straight off the top, I like foreign films. I always have, and I always will. Okay, foreign films always have that special, will always have that special place in my heart. They always have that je ne sais quoi that American horror films don't. Modern American horror films don't. Okay, so with that being said, um, there are a few negatives. One of those negatives is it drags a bit throughout the middle of the film. It drags a lot, and it definitely feels like it definitely feels like a 2 hour long film. Um, at times, but then there's times when it's not bad, when it has great pacing. But you don't watch an Asian film because the pacing is going to be perfection, because it's not going to be perfection. Okay, so that is one negative. The acting isn't perfection, but it's goddamn fucking good. The acting is genuinely excellent. Um, I can say 100% pure honesty. I cannot recommend it enough if you like exorcist films. Okay, because this is not your average exorcism film. This is a new, this is an Asian take. So it takes all of our tropes and kind of twists them on their head and changes things that we wouldn't normally change. Um, I'm not gonna have any spoilers for this one because it's just you spoil like this. Um, so I'm gonna start off with this: the opening of the film, the opening sequences of the film. The opening sequence of the opening exorcism is excellent at setting up um is excellent at setting up two things: the world itself and the rules of the world, because there are rules to every world. In film, comics, gaming, there's rules to it, and they set those rules up beautifully. Okay, they set those rules up in a way in which you feel something for the main character. You watch bad shit happen to him, and then you're like, man, what the gonna happen to this poor bastard? You know, because that's what I was wondering the whole time. What the hell's gonna happen to this poor bastard? This guy's going through so much shit. And then it goes up an entire level in a way I did not honestly expect. Um, I can say with all honesty, it's not perfect. It has its issues. I expect that with films. Okay. Um. So I will say, okay. So I looked up some reviews after I finished, just to see, because it didn't have the best score on IMDb, because of course it didn't. Why would anyone want to give a film they have to read a good score? Um. So the average score was something like 5.3, and it kind of bothered me because I don't think that it's that bad of a movie. I've seen way worse, even Asian cinema. For fuck's sake, Ringu Zero is a horrible film. But that's neither here nor there. So we're gonna start with as I got out of the way, the acting and whatnot is a little spotty here and there, but it's still better than most indie films I watch. Okay, so with that said, I have to say the opening sequence establishes the rules in the world really well. I said that already. The practical effects are amazing. Okay, they are. Sorry. Um, the 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 practical effects were absolutely awesome. Legitimately, I think some of the best I have seen in a while. And this came out in 2019. A lot of people in America aren't using practical effects. We're still using CGI, and especially a lot of CGI for our horror films. And that's, I hate that. I'm a strong believer in. I believe 100%. That practical effects will hold up forever, and CGI effects are going to date a movie instantly. Prime example of this. Prime example of this is The Thing from when it came out, 80, 81. Um, the special effects for that 40 years later hold up so well. And this has a good guy, but the CGI is secondary to the practical effects. They use practical effects on everyone when it comes to that stuff. The family, the family is introduced in such a good way that the family is introduced in such a way that you don't, you it establishes who's who, and you don't immediately go, wow, that's a terrible family. That's a terrible. That character is terrible. No. It's not like that at all. I honestly think every character is very interesting, and I think that every character works really well. Um. Okay, so the character, the family is set up really well. Okay, and you really start to feel for them throughout the film. Um, and like I points, about the middle of the film, it feels like about 2 hours, but it's not bad. Because God knows I've seen way worse films than this. The setup for the possession when they arrive at the new house is absolutely excellent. It's little bits here and there. It's setting up an atmosphere, and everything is just so good about it. I loved it. um, the neighbor's house that they go to, they set it up in a way that it is very, very creepy, and it works so well. And the environment is just so creepy, and so just this side is just enough on the other side of creepy that it's creepy and grungy, and you feel dirty, but then you leave the house and you don't feel so dirty anymore. Um, um, there's some really great imagery throughout the film with black crows or ravens. Forgive me, I'm not an ornithologist, Paul saying. Um, okay. Sorry, I'm going. I make notes as I watch a movie, and I go through my notes. There's a scene where after the family and the possession in the possession started, but it hasn't gone. You see the priest, who is the uncle of the children and the brother to the male of the father of the family. Okay, you see him, and after the opening exorcism, he's not the same as he was before. And the the priest, you see him gardening, and it's really nice to see what happened to him at the opening of the film. And it's really nice to see you get this sense that he's lost his faith and stuff, and it's a really good on losing your faith and then regaining your faith and using your faith to save people you love. I thought that was a good on that. So there's this nightmare sequence where he sees the young lady from the beginning as a demon, okay? And she's hanging from the ceiling and she's talking about how this demon is going to family eat their flesh and stuff, and it's really just this creepy, nasty scene that works so well. There are jump scares in this film, but they feel earned. Okay, because you're spending some time in this atmosphere and ambience that is just slowly building throughout the film. It's not like all at once. Oh, hey, look, there's an exorcism. It's little pieces here and touches here and there. So good. And I appreciated the ambiance and the I appreciated the ambiance and everything. There's the jump scares add a layer to that. There's a scene where the blanket that is pulled off the daughter. You see it pull off, but nothing else. You see enough of her to know that she's there and there's something going on. You don't see who pulled it off. You don't see who or what. Jump scare, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck did that come to? Well, and I love in the scene is okay, and one thing leads to another, and it just gets way out of nowhere. It just works so well. The mom is just sitting there, and she's you don't know what's going on, but the mom's not acting right. And then all of a sudden, she's just stuffing her mouth with food, and the young child, the young son, goes, "Ugh, this doesn't taste good. Something about this tastes off. It tastes awful. It's too salty." And she just starts filling her with this food in a way that's just so horribly nasty and so disgusting and salty. This is nasty. And then she picks up a handful of food, and it just is so well done. It is so gross and so nasty. You don't even see it dripping down her mouth. You don't see it throwing up. Nothing. It's just, holy crap, it was nasty. And it's nasty because the sound design, notch. Honestly, it is just top notch. Okay, then there is a character from the beginning of the film. Not going to mention names or anything at all, because I don't want to. But there's some great closure to what happens at the beginning of the film, about halfway through, in a way that works really well. Okay, and then it's just a quick little scene. Doesn't need to be much. It just works so well. Better than I thought it would. It works a lot better than I thought it would work. It does a lot more than I thought it would do, and I loved it so much. Then after that, there's an awesome callback to the beginning of the film. Um, there's this excellent callback to what happened earlier in the film, and to the breakfast I mean, and the next thing you know, there's a new setup for it, and there's this callback, and it works so amazingly. I don't see a lot of films do that kind of call make it work well. Um, there's a scene at bedtime. I don't want to ruin it. This is one of the times I'm trying to keep it. I'm keeping it as spoiler free as I can. I want you to or if you're gonna watch it, you're gonna watch it. If you're not, you're not. That's fine. Either way, I honestly cannot. So there's this scene. Everyone's asleep. The or the the possession has happened. It's happening, right? As it's happening, and it was so creepy. I mentioned sound design, but I wanted to make it. It is so good. I mean, there's a scene where a person steps on glass and feel it. You can the sound design. You're just like, oh god, that's so nasty. And you just know it's gross. You can hear it. Just makes you feel gross. But you know what? Easily one of my favorite endings I have ever seen from a possession film. I don't like possession films. I hate possession films. I think they are never as good as people think, and I believe 100% that they are always missing something. They don't set it up well. They don't do a very good job with it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Okay? For once, I didn't despise the fucking, I didn't despise the, for once I didn't despise an exorcism film. Because, like I said, they're always missing, to say, I'm gonna give a good solid 10. Because it is, honest to God, genuinely that good. It is easily an 8 or above out of 10. And that's no joke. I mean that. It is easily an 8 or above out of 10. You get a chance to watch it, see it. It's worth watching. I mean that. And with that, I am now done with day 4. So tomorrow we will do day 5. Starting next week, I'm gonna do more themed weeks, because why the hell not? So I'm going to have a theme every week from now on. I'm not sure what those themes are gonna be. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those themes. But I plan on having some themes, and I think that it's going to be very interesting and very good to do. Because I think that's one of the best ways to do it. So with that, I thank you. Have a lovely time. Subscribe down below, hit that bell, and I will catch you tomorrow with 31 and 31, day 5, whatever movie I watch. Thank you. Bye.